Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can create your custom brush strokes similar to what I've done to illustrate the fur onto my little character here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create the shape that we want to turn into a brush. Now to look at our brushes, if you haven't got this open, just go Window, Brushes, shortcut is F5, and you can see the brush strokes that we've already used. Now I hadn't actually made this brush, but because I imported this character from another file, it also brought over the brushes tool that I've actually entitled Bear Hair from a previous version. Now the way we use brushes is we simply create a shape and then we go down to make a new brush. So here's my shape, and I'll show you how I made that, but it's very easily just a little circle. Hold Shift to make a perfect circle. Using the direct selection, which shortcut is A, let's just drag that point down. And because I want it to be symmetrical, I'll hold the Shift button just to make it lock on that vertical axis. Now, if you're holding Shift, it'll actually click it at 45-degree increments, which is useful for a range of things. So I'm just going to drag it down. I'm going to then break apart, still using the direct selection tool, break apart that anchor point by holding Alt. And it's just going to snap up, and now I don't need to hold Alt because it's broken apart. And what's important, these handles look like they're about the same position relative to each other, like a mirror image, because if you have one out here you can see it makes it a bit lopsided. So the next thing to think about before we make our new brush is the physical size of your brush stroke. So if I make it this size, and considering this is an A4 document, my brush is going to be like I've gone and bought the biggest brush out of the hardware store and I'm painting a huge brush. Whereas here it was important to make it a small detailed brush, so we'll just shrink that down, holding Shift and dragging the corner in. So now what we're going to do is make a new art brush. So new brush, select the art brush. I think it's a good opportunity for you to go and try making different shapes and try using these other tools, but I find the art brush for what we want to do, for what I want to do, makes the most appropriate choice. So if we go OK, again play around with these, but I'll leave it as the default stretch to fit the stroke length. And all that you may need to change would be the direction of your arrow, considering the starting point is this part here. So when you first click on the screen and when you drag across, it's going to draw that relative to your path. So I want it to drag from the big end down to the little end, and I'll leave that and click OK. So now what I've done is you can see here's my new art brush, and so my first click is the fat end and it tapers down. So depending on what I'm doing, I can actually customize that shape. So the next thing you might want to do, so in here I've actually got, if I double click, or let's zoom in, zoom right in, each of these is actually a gradient. So it's light brown at the tip, dark brown at the fat end, but the fat end also has a gradient of an opacity applied to it, so it starts off pretty transparent, and the whole thing actually has a bit of an opacity so that when they overlap, when they build up, it looks like the hair's a bit denser. At least that was the plan. So in order to apply a gradient, and you can't do it, it doesn't let you do it when you're trying to make the shape. To make a gradient, what we actually have to do is expand the appearance. So I'm just going to make a few examples here. Let's zoom in. Expand the appearance from what is a stroke. So you can see this blue line is the stroke, and that's the object around that stroke. What we need to do is expand the appearance by going Object, Expand Appearance, and that converts it from a stroke into a shape. So now that we have this as a shape, we can actually go and change and apply a gradient, like I've showed you in other tutorial videos, if you want. So what I also did was both of them were browns, and let's say that's got like a 30% opacity, and my one actually has that reversed. So the bigger end was more opaque than the tip, so that when they lay it up, So now they've got that, I can just duplicate. When they lay it up, it looked a bit more like fur, as it were. So what I'll do is in the next videos I'll show you some more tools. Thanks for watching.